here. It's Tidbit Tuesday, and today I wanted to talk about something called the hand lock, or Hasta Bandha. So you might have heard in yoga us refer to things called locks or bandhas. We have three main ones: the throat lock, the abdominal lock, and the root lock. But ones that maybe we talk about a little bit less, or one of them, is called Hasta Bandha, and it's the hand lock. And so this lock is actually really important because often in a vinyasa class, in a lot of different styles of yoga, but particularly in a vinyasa class, we're on our hands quite a bit, right? And so sometimes what I find is that I see people start to roll out their wrists or to kind of, do these stretches or have to take a break because the weight is dumping downward into the wrists. So before I talk about how to do Hasta Bandha, one thing to just keep in mind is that in yoga, actually, I shouldn't say in yoga, because in different styles of yoga, we might actually want the body to be passive, for instance, in yin yoga. But in vinyasa and these more active forms of yoga, there's generally a fair amount of engagement in the body, of activation in the muscles. So to give you a quick example, sometimes I'll see people in class in Warrior 2 and they're just kind of like hanging out, waiting for the posture to be done, right? But Warrior 2 is actually, regardless of how deep the leg is, my muscles are pulling inward and upward. I'm activated through the feet, through the core, through the arms. It's super strong, right? So it can look like this, or it can look like this. And so that's the idea as we think about, in particular, the hand lock, is this idea of activation or engagement. So if you often find yourself with wrist discomfort during the practice, or you find that your hands are kind of just softly placed on the mat when you're in a plank, they look like this, or down dog and they look like this, and then you start to feel that weight and that pressure down into the wrist, this is actually where we use Hasta Bandha. So in order to practice Hasta Bandha, what you want to do is spread your fingers wide, okay, wide, like it's going to be a nice solid base and foundation. And then you grip the fingertips into the mat a little bit. I always like to say until they turn a little bit white. And then you might start to feel all the knuckles raise up off of the mat. So you actually want to push the knuckles down, especially the knuckle underneath the index finger. By doing that, you can see how strong my hands are. No matter where I am, plank, down dog, or anything else, I start to engage that, and then I push away from the mat, and all of a sudden what's happening is that the weight is actually coming upward, or the energy is pulling upward, rather than sinking down into the wrist, which over time obviously can set us up for injury and prevent longevity of the practice. So go ahead and practice that next time you're doing your planks, even your tabletop, downward facing dog, anything that requires you to be on the hands. Because while it's amazing for just the practice in and of itself, when you start to do things like arm balances, crow, things like that, it's absolutely necessary to engage that Hasta Bandha. Have a great day.